Hi, this is Atthena Shekinah, and we're going to talk about Ascension and what Ascension is and what it actually means to ascend. And so I think there are many misconceptions about the direction in which we're headed and about the whole ascension process and about this whole 5D idea. And so I'm going to cover this in more depth later about the fifth dimension. But in short, it's a rise in polarity. We're currently in the fourth dimension, and the fourth dimension is a mix of the third and the fifth dimension. And so as we go to the fourth and the fifth dimension, we also experience a greater sense of polarity, which can be difficult to handle if you don't have the right tools, techniques, understanding, and knowledge. And so the tools and techniques and knowledge that I'm giving in this course is helping you with your ascension process, and it's helping you through this fourth and fifth dimensional energies. Because yes, the deepness and the profoundness of love and magic and synchronicity comes in these realities, but there's also the opposite. So a deeper feeling of, for example, fear or pain or sadness. And so if you look at the world right now, after transiting into the fourth dimension, you can see that the level of fear has gone up recently because of this pandemic we're experiencing. And so it's a fear purging going on. And so basically, the whole idea of what fifth dimension is has been maybe just not understood fully yet, and what it's like to live in the fifth dimension. Because there are two sides to living in the fifth dimension and above. And so living a multidimensional experience or a higher dimensional experience as a human being is a whole new experience, both the positive and negative. And it's a whole new version of yourself that is birthed when going through the fourth dimension. And the fourth dimension is based on a lot of more internal. It's an internal energy in a sense. It's where you go from thinking to feeling more. And so ascension is not so much about becoming an alien and traveling around in space, an out-of-body experience and all these things, as much as it is an integration process, an inner healing process, of finding your true self and kind of peeling away all those filters, all those things that you are not, but that you think you are, but that you don't need to be, all those negative judgments you can have of yourself. When I was in the fourth dimensional passageway, I spent a lot of time in isolation, ironically, with what's going on. After we transited into the fourth dimension in 2019, in November. And so I spent a lot of time inside myself, traveling inside myself, healing all the traumas and negative patterns that I had been dealing with all my life. and finding a deeper sense of peace and grounding in my inner and external reality. And so it's an important time to work with yourself and work with your internal and align yourself with who you truly want to be, so that you can express who you truly want to be, so that you can live the life that you want, and so that you can be true to yourself, and so that you can materialize what you desire, manifest miracles, experience that golden relationship, that love relationship that just is amazing, and being loved fully and accepted and connected, having that success in your life that you want, experiencing all those good things that you desire to experience, and becoming that version of yourself who feels that they love themselves, that they want to be themselves, that there isn't anyone else in the world that you'd rather be than yourself, and that there isn't a life that you would rather want than your own. And so to become this true, authentic version of yourself, we have to peel back all these things that are not really who we want to be, and who we really truly on the inside are. And so to do that, we have to do the shadow work, the inner child healing, the mother and father wounds, all these things that we have experienced in our life that are keeping us in trauma, in stress, in being blocked on all your different levels, feeling self-sabotage and fear, and materializing bad relationships. All of these things are reflecting, our external is reflecting our internal. And so again, going up in vibration and going up in dimension, everything also comes to you more rapidly. And so imagine if you have a lot of negative thoughts, like if you right now have a lot of negative beliefs and thoughts about yourself, in the moment that you go up in the higher dimensions, these things manifest a lot more rapidly. And so they're already happening now, that things, that materialization, and that what you think and feel and believe materializing in the physical reality on a personal level and on a physical level. It is something that has been on the rise since these past few years, since this ascension process and this deeper sense of connection started arising, this heart opening, this consciousness opening started happening here on earth on a deeper level these past few years. And so imagine if you have all these negative vibrations, and you go up in the higher dimensions, these things are just going to slap you in the face one after another. And so it speeds up what your reality reflected, and your reality creation speeds up as we go through this, as we go to these fourth dimensional energies. And so that makes it even more important, our internal existence, our internal feeling and thought. It makes it a lot more important what we're thinking, what we're feeling, how we're doing, our health, mental, physical, emotional. It becomes more important in the fourth dimension, because your reality starts to reflect you on a more rapid rate. And so to materialize more of those magic moments, more of those beautiful moments, Not because we want to be in avoidance of the negative, because sometimes we need to experience those negative things to heal or to learn something, or to even to deepen our sense of connection to another. Sometimes these bad experiences teach us something or connect us deeper with someone or ourselves, or help us even to trigger a trauma so that we can heal it. And so it's not because we need to eliminate or be in complete avoidance of negativity and negative emotions. It's the exact opposite. We need to go into them and be with them. Because in that way you can experience those negative things internally and heal them internally, so that you don't have to experience so many of that externally. But if you are feeling it internally for a long time, it starts to materialize externally. And in these types of energies that we're in now collectively, it materializes and manifests quicker. And it will continue. The more the vibration rises of the planet and of the people, the rate of materialization, when you raise your vibration, quickens. And so you can experience those things inside of yourself from a perspective of, I'm going to experience this, I'm going to understand myself, connect to myself deeper, and understand, what is this pattern that I have in my life, or what is this suffering I cannot let go of, or why am I attracting the same kind of relationship, like same pattern, new partner type thing, or why I can't make this area of my life function in a way that feels aligned or balanced or helpful in any way. So you can feel it to heal it. You can transmute it on the internal, as to create an outcome that is more positive on the external, and also as to deepen your sense of connection, because ascension is a lot more. And so ascension is also, ascension is an inner journey. It's an integration journey, much more than an ascension journey, because although it sounds fun to be like a multidimensional alien living in higher dimensions, I have that experience, and from a human perspective, it can be extremely intense and difficult, because everything is reflected and everything is created. There are some dimensions where all you have to do is say something and bam, it's there. Think something, bam, it's there. Feel something, bam, it's there. And so you have to be able to unless you want a not so pleasant experience, you have to be in a type of divine neutrality, in a 0 point state or in a positive state. Because if you're in the negative state, then these things occur more rapidly or materialize more rapidly. And so the ascension process is much more about grounding yourself, into your body, into your feeling, into your connection with yourself, with your internal self, your human self, your soul self, your source self, your desires, your fears, all these things, to connect with yourself on a deeper level and become more in tune with who you are. And the more you do that, the more you also come in tune with your abilities and your talents, your gifts, your confidence in yourself, your trust, your faith in yourself. And so the ascension process is really much more an integration process, because before going up in dimensions, you have to really go in and find that 0 point, you have to kind of neutralize all that what you have inside, which you don't desire to keep and experience. So you can call it karma or shadows or whatever you want, but all those things you hold inside, ancestral patterns, all those things you hold inside that you don't want to continue holding on to and experiencing. So that can be bad relationships because of your family patterns. That can be self-sabotaging behaviors. You need to find balance and peace within yourself and ground yourself into earth, into your body, before you can go up in vibration, up in dimension, because otherwise it's not a very fun experience. It can be quite intense. It can be very beautiful, magical, but it can also be intense. And so for that reason, the next few years of ascension work is about integration, grounding yourself into your body, into your physicality, connecting deeper with yourself, finding more of who you truly are, finding that self-love, that self-confidence, that oneness with yourself. And it's much more about that than becoming an alien or ascending into becoming Christ or all of this. It's an inner journey, because again, all your talents and your wisdom, they're inside of you. And the more you become aligned with yourself, the more your natural talents shine through. So the more in harmony you are with yourself, so then let's say you start practicing sound healing or singing, the more into balance you come with yourself, the more confident you feel in yourself, the more you believe yourself, the better you're going to be singing. The more you connect with yourself, the more you're one with yourself, the more creative you're going to be. If you like to write or paint or create something or make music, because you start to channel that your creativity, your channels become more open. Your channels become more open for yourself and your source self and your soul self and your true self. Whereas someone who's negative and restricted, they won't even start to try and paint, because before even picking up the pencil or the paint, they've decided that I don't know how to paint. I can't draw, I can't paint, so I'm not even going to try. Or maybe someone wants to be a singer, but they say, I cannot sing. And then maybe they're not a bad singer, but they block themselves and say, no, I'm not a good singer, I can't be a singer. But maybe that's what they want to do, really. So that's all these kind of negative beliefs and lack of confidence, lack of trust in ourselves. It's all these types of things that keep us from being our true authentic selves, and then thus keeps us from having true authentic relationships, and then thus keeps us from coming into union with ourselves and also coming into union with others. And as we ascend, we also come more into unity, because telepathic communion and intuition and all these things, they rise. We start to connect more on a deeper level. We start to feel each other more. We start to experience telepathic communion, all these types of things in the higher dimensions. And so to have that experience, again, everything is reflected back to you. And it can be intense and beautiful and magic, but whatever is inside is reflected back to you. And as we come into union, it is also reflected more back to you. And so Ascension in the next coming time, now that I've given all these analogies, I think you have an idea of what it is I'm trying to convey here, which is Ascension is more about integration. What we need as a human collective right now is to heal, is to integrate, is to ground, is to find out who am I, what am I doing here on a level of not thinking, but feeling. Allowing your innate abilities and talent and your light to shine through you by letting go of every filter, every blockage, every belief, every thought, feeling that sabotages you and that keeps you going around in these circles of the same over and over again. And so this is what my course and this online membership is based on. It's based on the inner journey. It's based on finding yourself from within. Because you have the whole universe within you. Before you go traveling out in the universe, you have to go inside yourself. And so this course is based on in training you to be connected to your internal, to ground yourself into your internal, to connect yourself with your internal, so that you could become one with all of your aspects of who you are. On a human level, on a soul level, on a inner source level. And to become you. And to create the experience that you want to create. Because the human race has a lot higher potential than anyone would believe. But we have been suppressed for so long. But we have a very high potential and we can be very talented if we just allow those talents to shine through. And so in this course, it's based around self-inquiry. It's based around inner journeying. It's based around finding that confidence and trust within yourself through these internal processes. And so that is what the fourth dimensional energies are very good at, is rest and peace and internal, finding that still point, healing, grounding, connecting with nature. It can be a time of dark nights of the soul type scenarios, inner transmutation, the rising phoenix type situations, the tower moments. But you have the ability to create your own reality. So the question is, what are you creating? And your internal has a lot to say about what you're going to be creating and experiencing in your external. So to become a master creator, you have to first become a master at yourself. To become a master navigator and creator of your reality, especially on a higher dimensional level, you have to first be able to navigate yourself internally and to be connected to what's internally. And to gain more consciousness and control of the mind as well, through inner healing and transmutation, through inner work, through meditation, grounding, yoga, all these types of things. We also learn to find more focus, more ability to control the mind in a sense, but not in a control, like in a harsh control dominance type way, but just to be in that you're more conscious and that you're more aware and self-aware. You're also able to choose more selectively where you want to focus and what you want to think on and what thoughts you want to keep and what thoughts are not in service to you anymore. But the human race has been in a state where they were completely unaware of what they were thinking, and they were just going on autopilot. And so to go from a state that's there to a state of being conscious of what you're thinking and what you're feeling, and also being able to choose, do I want to react to this? How do I want to react to this? Being able to feel, how do I feel about this? Being able to feel your inner knowing. Being able to feel your intuition. And so to navigate and create your reality, you need more consciousness of the mind and of what you are allowing into your mind and into your space and into your belief system and what is in your belief system. To even find out what is in my belief system, you need to have a connection to yourself. You need to be able to do self-inquiry and to hear the answer. And so connection to the self is the most important thing about Ascension. And this online membership is going to help you by giving you tools, techniques, and helping you with your inner journey work, helping you through this process, this internal journey of becoming an ascended human on earth in a physical body vehicle. Being birthed as a soul. Instead of having a soul, instead of being a soul in a human, that human becoming a soul, that human becoming its very own soul, its very own consciousness. And so with that process, your abilities, your intuition, your healing abilities, all these things, your inner knowing, your divine guidance, all these things, they come along when you've done the internal work, when you've connected to yourself. And so I hope all that makes sense to you. I think it will. And I hope that you enjoy this online membership and course. I hope that you will try all the practices and modalities of healing and find the ones that are aligned to you, and the ones that don't feel right or that you don't resonate with, just leave them, but try them all. Try and follow the whole program. And take the tools that you resonate with and that help you and use them regularly, and leave the others for later or never. And yeah, I think that'll be all for this recording. And until next time, have a beautiful, magical day, night, wherever you are.